Hello everyone, hope you're well. I'm stuck in a very awkward position tonight because Claire's rearranged the utility room, meaning it's really echoey in there now, and she's moved our washer dryer thing next to where I normally record, which means I can't move the chairs around. So I'm kind of homeless. I have to stand in front of this part of the curtain and hope that it all just stays even behind me. I'm very out of sorts with that. I think that's pretty much the most productive thing anyone in our house did over the weekend. It was quite a quiet one. I kept thinking to myself, if I was in one of my stories, this would be the calm before the storm. This would be the everything was peaceful until this happened moment of a book, because it was just nice. I woke up, that was it. I'd take Emily to her friend's house on Saturday morning, and we've established that Oliver has a secret power, because when he found out she was going, he said, "Oh, I wish I could have a friend round. This isn't fair. I wish I could have someone come round, and I wish I could go to my friend's house." And I was like, one day you'll be able to do that. One day you'll be old enough and it'll all be fine. And then the next day, so not even, move out of the way, dog. Less than 24 hours later, I'm going to sit down in front of it. Less than 24 hours passed and he was out front playing with Emily and Ben and Claire. Claire was digging holes in the garden or something, I don't know. And next door came out a girl about his age, and they just got on like a house on fire. They just become fast friends. They went in her house for a bit. She come over to our house for a bit. They were running in between the two houses for a bit, and he was well happy. And when he come back, I've never seen him so excited. He come back and he went, "I went to her house. We played on her iPad. We played on her games." He was like, "I had so much fun," and he was like so smiley. It was absolutely fantastic. It really warmed my heart because it was just nice. And I said to him, "You wished for that yesterday," and he was like, "I did." And I said, "That's really funny. You wished for someone to come around your house, and then you made a friend." I said, "You don't fancy wishing that I'd win the lottery, do you?" And this is where it turns out he's got a mean streak, because he basically wished that Daddy would never win the lottery. And when I'd even tried to salvage it by suggesting that he wished that Claire could still win it, he wished that she would never win it either. So I'm never going to be a millionaire, at least not through the easy route. I'm going to have to do it through hard work and effort and luck, rather than trying to just buy a lottery ticket, which is frustrating because I'd literally just figured out I've got 5 of us in the house, and I was picking everyone's birth date plus the number 42, the meaning of life, because I thought they are my life. And it was the perfect set of lottery numbers because I could remember it off the top of my head. I could check them off the top of my head. Now there's no point in me using them because I'm never going to win the lottery. So he's put me off ever buying one, which makes it a self-fulfilling prophecy. So he has literally predicted the future there, which is very sad. Other than that, honestly, nothing happened. It was very peaceful. I feel relaxed. I feel like it was hard to get up and running with my book. I sat there, I loaded it up, I tried to do some writing, and it was just very much like, okay, I need to delete this bit out. I think basically I sat there looking at it for 2 hours and ended up on minus 200 words, which is ridiculous. I don't even know how I did that. I must have deleted like 400 in notes and then added a couple of hundred over the day. I managed to watch Tottenham throw away a draw in the 93rd minute of a game, which was very gutting. I watched Aquaman with Claire and I thought it was terrible. I thought it was like a 5 out of 10. I don't know if I'm just getting grumpy, but I asked someone at work and they said they thought it was bad too. It just made this weird noise every few seconds, which was really irritating. And that on its own was enough to do my head in. Didn't find any of the really out of the blue jokes like the bikers and stuff very funny. It felt like it was trying to be a Marvel film and it was failing. I really think that they should just sack off everyone involved in these films, except the guy who played Aquaman and the woman, sorry, who played Wonder Woman, can pretty much stay. Everyone else, just get rid of them. Not any of them were any good after that. A bit controversial because I don't really like the Harley Quinn, what's her name, Margot, either. I feel like she's just a bit overdone now. So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed with that. We started watching Wreck-It Ralph on Sky as well, together as a family, and then it turned it off and said you had to pay to watch the rest of it. I was outraged. I was just like, I can't believe this. So that's a bit of a myth. That miffed me a bit, sorry. because the kids were all sat watching it, and then it just said, yeah, now pay £6 or whatever. And as you can imagine, Ollie was like, well, we have to do that. And I said, no, we're not doing that. I'm not being held to ransom by being guilted by my kids because they started watching an advert without me realising it was an advert. That is really bad practice, though. I almost complained, but I just thought, what's the point? You know, it's my choice to say no, isn't it? What else happened? I mean, we've got Oliver's note for saying that he will be doing half days from Monday next week. I haven't spoken to him about it yet because I don't really know how to. I guess we just say to him over the weekend before. I'm a little bit disappointed with how it's written. It says that, well, it basically says they're unable to cope with him the way that things are at the moment, and they thought this might help. They've suggested that he could hurt other people in his class, but not the teachers. It's more like they're saying that about other students or something if he gets upset, and it's like, well, he's never done that. He's only ever lashed out. And I mean, I suppose it goes without saying it is still a concern, but I just read it and thought it implied more than what was actually happening. It kind of implies that this is something that happens without reason, and it's like, well, no, but I'm not going to get into it. I read it and was a little bit disappointed, but then I thought they're probably right. They've got to be ultra safe. I understand that. It's a shame that we're in this position. I still haven't had oh God, it's Monday. I need to get the form back for the EHCP and send it off, and they haven't spoken to me. They're supposed to ring me today, and they didn't, so I need to ring them first thing tomorrow. I feel like I've held that up now a day by not being on it. I mentioned a while back, and this is part of the thing I wanted to cover off, actually, completely random. I got my letter saying that I have now got my freehold from Persimmons, which means I finally, I was going to say beat them. I haven't really beaten them because I got it for £500 like they agreed, but I had to pay their legal fees, my legal fees, and I had to agree to do a permission fee thing with them for an amount of time. But if anyone out there watching this is going through a similar thing, I know exactly what you need to do now, and I'm looking to advise people because they told me I wasn't allowed to tell anyone about it if they did what I wanted them to do. And I sort of asked my solicitor on Friday or Saturday. She sent me an email saying, it's all done. And I said, okay, what? Now we're all done. Can they reverse it at all? And she was like, no. And I said, okay. And if they asked me to promise that I wouldn't do something and they didn't ask me to sign an NDA or put it in any kind of formal writing, I just said, okay, does that stand up to anything? And she said, there's nothing they can do. You can say and do what you want. And I was like, this is cracking. I'm just going to go on the warpath now. So I'm on the warpath with Persimmon. I'm on the warpath with the law firm that basically failed to help us avoid this mess. I've got the legal ombudsman looking into that. They sent me a big pack saying they think that we have a case and fill out all this stuff and send them all the documentation they've asked for, and they'll look into it. So I'm starting another war there, and I'm hoping that that one will. I'm trying to be a bit clever about it. I've said to the ombudsman, if they had advised me properly in the first place, then I wouldn't have had to spend this money that I just had to spend on the freehold. So it's only fair that they pay some of it. And the ombudsman people said, yeah, that's true. They should pay towards it. So they've sent me a letter explaining how it all works out. And it sounds like, depending on how convincing it all is and how much they look at it, then I can either get a part of it or all of it or something in between. So I don't know what's going to happen. I could get nothing. I could get no help. But I'm really miffed because, just to put a bit of background on that, when we bought the house, we were told to use a specific solicitor that Persimmon recommended, which was foolish, but equally they basically carpeted our house, put a plug in the garden, all sorts of random things as part of that. It was like a package thing. You couldn't get one part without the other parts, and I kind of thought, well, they've still got to obey the law. And then when it come down to the important bits, like the house being a leasehold house, they just went, it's leasehold, yeah, leasehold, yeah. And I went, yeah, I've spoken to them about that. I actually sent them a detailed email back, which they didn't respond to. And that's part of where my argument comes about, because they should have, the ombudsman have agreed, they should have responded going, that's not true, that's a lie, they don't have to do that, that's not something they'll honour. And they didn't do any of that. They just ignored the email back. And that's basically the crux of the argument that we're having, is if they'd have come along and said Persimmon are lying, or there's nothing to hold them to that, then I wouldn't have proceeded without Persimmon's putting it in writing or guaranteeing things or whatever. So that's fun and games. It's fun knowing that you're in the right, because then you feel like if you don't back down, you should be fine. That was what it was like with Persimmon, because I knew I had it in writing that they'd said the number they'd said. I just didn't back down. Even I had to bang my head against the wall for 18 months. My neighbours gave up. My neighbours weren't interested and stuff like that. They just all kind of went, yeah, whatever. When I told them I'd sorted it, they were like, okay, we'll sort it too. When they realised it was done, they did it. So I've been chatting to a few of them again lately, and some of them are finally finishing up. They've all got theirs for the same 500 that I got mine for, which they're all delighted with. I reckon on my own I've cost Persimmons a lot of money, basically, because everyone that they were charging between, well, it was like six. Some people got offered it for 3,000. Some people got offered it for 6,000. Some people got offered it for 9,000. So I mean, if every one of those people got it for 500 instead, cost me, that's probably a whole house's worth of money that's cost Persimmons there, which is good. You deserve to lose that kind of money, you swindlers. And I hope they know it. Well, I am a bit worried that they'll come for me after that. I'm worried that if I wind up mysteriously washing up in a river or something, that'll be why. But what are they going to do, eh? I think that's your lot. Other than that, I mean, it's been really quiet. I mean, I'm really happy that Ollie made a friend and was excited by that. Emily had good fun at her mates, and then they've been doing all about homework and stuff, Egyptian stuff, superhero stuff. Homework's much cooler than when I was at school. Emily's just on her phone looking up. I was like, what are you doing on your phone? She's doing homework. When I looked, she was there reading about Egypt on it, which is really cool to see. She's written all these facts out about this pharaoh that she's found on the internet. You know, Ollie's been drawing superheroes and stuff like that, which is really cool. And Ben's talking at last. Not full-on words, but it's getting there. It's pretty good. It's quite exciting. Soon it'll be him that will be like, be quiet. But no, that's exciting. I'm happy. I'm going to wrap up because there's not much to say. It's been a quiet one, but I hope this has been entertaining nonetheless. I'm pretty tired, actually. This whole clock going forward thing has thrown me. I can't believe it's 8 o'clock and it's so, like, twilighty out, but equally, I was sat there at midnight I was sat there at, sorry, 1 o'clock last night trying to get to sleep, thinking it's essentially midnight. That's the problem. And then this morning when I woke up, I was like, oh my God, it's essentially 6 a.m. So I've done it on like 5 hours sleep, the equivalent of, and yeah, it doesn't feel great. So, gonna wrap up, as I say. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over the week. Cheers, bye.